Hi, in this one we're going to use Desmos to graph the piecewise defined function that we actually had to fool around with in your turn number 1. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at that first piece and then go over to Desmos and type in y equals, and I'm going to put this in parentheses, over x plus 1. Now that's what would I get if I did the whole graph. But if we go back, we don't want the whole graph. We only want that part that's less than 0. So I'm going to go back to Desmos, and right next to this, in braces, I'm going to put x is less than 0. Yay. And so I get only the part of the graph I want. Now, it's not very clear to me from this graph whether I'm including that point or not including that point. So what I'm going to try to do every time I do this is when a point's not included, what I'm going to do is have Desmos plot that point. Now I can see that that's the point 0, 1. So I just type 0, 1, and I can see that it made a solid dot. I don't want a solid dot. I want a dot with a hole in it. That means don't include it. So I'm going to take my cursor way over to this dot, way over to the left here. So it turns into a hand, and I hold. When I hold, it gives me different styles that I can do, and I'm going to go over that second style where they changed it to a dot with a hole in it. That way I can see that I'm supposed to include this piece, but not that dot. Now, I'm going to go to the second part of the graph. So go back to Desmos. I want the square root of x between 0 and 5. So I go to Desmos. I go y equals, I just type out sqrt. It automatically turns it into square root of x. So I put x. I get out of there. And now in braces, I want 0, and I want less than or equal to. So I actually type in less than, and then the equal sign. And you can see it turned that into less than or equal to. Then I want x is less than 5. And I get what I wanted again. But again, it's not very clear to me that it's not including that last point. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to plot that last point, which is going to be 5 square root 5. And then I'm going to go back over here, over to the dot. I hold, and then I pick the style that doesn't include the point, which looks good to me. I'm going to go back to Desmos. I look at 2x plus 3 for x is bigger than or equal to 5. So I go back over here. Y equals, I'm going to put 2x plus 3 in parentheses. And then I want x is bigger than or equal to, so I type in bigger than. And then when I put in equals, it automatically makes it into bigger than or equal to. And I want 5. And I get that graph. And that is pretty much all I have to do to make sure I did that. Make sure I actually have the right graph. I think I do. And we're done. The only thing I think we have to do is realize that if we had started with the default screen, I won't actually see that last part. So if you had started from the screen that goes from, the basic default screen for Desmos, you're going to have to zoom out a little bit. And then again, until you see the graph. You can see there's a lot of graph I don't want here. So what I'm going to do is go to the wrench and way over to the left and the x-axis, I'm going to put minus 10. I think that's far enough. To the right, I think 10 is good. Let's see here. How am I doing here? Minus 10 to 10. Yeah, I like that one. I think that's good. So we're done.